Hello and welcome back to the Golden Octagon MMA channel. I am Matt Anderson, and in today's video I'll be going over with you my post weigh-in fight bets, picks, and parlays breakdown for UFC 258 Kamaru Usman versus Gilbert Burns. I always wait to make my bets, picks, and parlays, and of course these videos, until after the weigh-ins, just because you never know what you're going to get when you see each fighter weigh in or even at the stare down. That being said, right after the weigh-ins, I work ruthlessly to get these videos out as quick as possible to do my research to make sure that I give you the best information that I possibly can. So if you would, just in exchange, please give this video a thumbs up just to show your support. And if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, come on now, what are you doing? Subscribe to the channel. It's super easy. It's that red button right down there at the bottom of your screen. And not only do we have these videos on these channels, once a week, me and my longtime friend Dorian also have a podcast on the channel, about an hour long each time. So if you're interested in that, also, please subscribe to the channel. But that is all that I'm going to ask you before we get started. So let's jump into the first fight of the night. Alright, up first fight of the night, Jillian Robertson versus Miranda Maverick. Miranda Maverick, a hometown fighter, if you will. She actually trains about 5 minutes right down the road, so I'm trying to take my heart out of this. But Jillian Robertson, a plus 115 underdog, going up against a minus 143 favorite in Miranda Maverick. I do believe she is the favorite. The over-under on this is 2.5. I don't see this fight getting finished personally, but who knows? You never know what happens. On this fight, I do believe if you're going to make money, it's going to be in a parlay with Miranda Maverick. I do believe she gets it done here, so not too much else to say about that. We're going to move right up the card. Phillip Rowe versus Gabriel Green. Wow, did these two dudes impress on the scales. Gabriel Green came in, huge flex, 169.5. Phil Rowe, on the other hand, 171, also looked great, a big flex. And at the stare down, man, Phil Rowe is so much taller than Gabriel Green. I had to look down to make sure that I got the name correct. I didn't want to mistake it for anything else. The over-under on this is 2.5. At minus 134, under 2.5 and a plus 100 over. So the odds makers think that this is going to go under 2.5 rounds. Gabriel Green's way actually. He is a minus 157 favorite at this moment, going up against a plus 110 underdog in Phillip Rowe. Man, I do believe there is money to be made here, guys. I'm just not comfortable enough to put it down on this. So that being said, I'm going to move right up to the next one. Ricky Simon versus Brian Boom Kelleher. This fight has makings to be fireworks. Ricky Simon weighed in 145.5, looked good on the scale, gave a flex, minus 250 favorite, going up against Brian Kelleher, a plus 195 underdog actually. There is money to be made here, guys. I will get to that in just a second. Brian Boom Kelleher looked good on the scale, gave a big flex. Brian Kelleher has power for 145, so you cannot sleep on Brian Boom Kelleher. And at an almost plus 200 underdog, I have to take that. I will be putting him in a parlay. I will tell you that at the end of the video, so just make sure that you stick around for that. So that being said, I think Brian Boom Kelleher has the power to get it done here, and there is a high chance that he gets Ricky Simon out of there. So we're going to move right up to the next one, a catch weight bout. Andre Ewell versus Chris Gutierrez. Man, Andre Ewell weighed in at 138. Looks like there was no issue on his side making weight. So you go over to the other side. Chris Gutierrez made 140, and man, this dude looked drained, looked sucked out. Everything bad that could have gone bad with a weight cut looked like happened with this guy's weight cut, and he is still the favorite. A minus 157 favorite over the plus 120 Ewell. I don't understand this at all, to be honest. I'm definitely throwing money on Yule here. He looked fantastic on the scales, no issue at all. And Chris Gutierrez, on the other hand, just did not look like he had the best weight cut at all. So, once again, I will be throwing Yule in on a parlay at a plus 120 favorite. So, we're going to move right up the card. Pollyanna Viana versus Mallory Martin. I'm going to be honest, guys. I don't know too much about each one of these fighters. I know Pollyanna Viana. I believe Pollyanna Viana was in the running for sub of the year last year with a knee bar, but I'm not 100%, so don't hold me to that. But overall, over-under is 2.5, plus 170 for under, and a minus 235 for under. I don't see this going under, guys. Pollyanna Viana made 116 on the scale. Mallory Martin, 115.5. The stare down was super respectful. They gave a handshake. Nothing too crazy to say there, guys. I'm probably going to stay away from this fight altogether. We're going to move right up the card. Belal, remember the name Muhammad, versus Diego Lima. This is going to be a good fight, guys. Belal Muhammad, a minus 455 favorite over the plus 325 Diego Lima. Every time Belal Muhammad fights, the dude's legs are just massive. His knees look weird because his leg muscles are so big. He, as I said before, he is a minus 455 favorite, as he should be. I believe he gets it done here simply because Diego Lima on the scales made 171, but he looked dry. He looked sucked out. He did not look good. And that being said, I do believe Belal Muhammad gets it done here, but at a minus 455 favorite, there's no money to be made here, guys. So that being said, the only money to be made here is if Belal Muhammad gets him out of there in under 2.5, and that is a plus 188 underdog for the under 2.5, but with Belal Muhammad's wrestling, I don't see it going under 2.5. So that being said, we're just going to move on up to the next one, and I'm going to stay away from that one altogether because there's not money to be made there. Up next, we've got Adolfo Vieira versus Anthony Hernandez. I believe there's money to be made here, guys. Adolfo Vieira, a minus 400 favorite over Anthony Fluffy Hernandez at a plus 300 underdog. How are they counting my man Fluffy out like this? I don't like it. Weighed in 186 on the scale. My man is no longer fluffy, by the way. My man is cut up, got his six-pack. Adolfo Vieira, on the other hand, also massive. This guy is huge. I see why he is a big favorite. What I'm going to focus in on here, though, is the over-under on this at being 1.5. And the underdog, it going over that 1.5 at a plus 125, I'm going to be taking that in a parlay. The over for that is minus 167. I believe Anthony Hernandez, if he doesn't have enough to win, I believe he definitely has enough to last over a round and a half. So that being said, I will be adding that in a parlay. I'll tell you them at the end, as you know the drill. So we are going to move right on up to Jim Miller versus Bobby Green. Honestly, guys, I'm not sure if this fight is even going to take place, but just looking at the odds, rather just the way that it should be. Bobby Green the favorite over Jim Miller, not slight underdog, a plus 210 on underdog. The over-under on this is 2.5, so I don't know if there's going to be like a finish there, if this fight even happens. I recommend stay away from this fight altogether. Enjoy this fight as a fan. We've got two vets here. These guys both always lay it out on the line. Give your respect to both. Watch the fight. It's going to be a banger, I promise you, if it happens. So that being said, we're going to move on to the next one. Here we go, guys. Maki Pitolo, Coconut Bombs, one of my favorite fighters, if you watch the channel, going up against Julian Marquez. This dude has had trouble getting fights. Like, over the past few years, he hasn't been able to keep a fight together. Fights just keep falling out. But Coconut Bombs always makes the fight. He will be fighting tomorrow night. I promise you that. So, Coconut Bombs weighed in 185 on the scale. Man, he looks big. He flex. Maki Pitolo, always a fun fighter to watch. going up against Julian Marquez. The dude was giving out free UFC 4 games on the scale. So make sure you go follow his Instagram if you want yourself a free UFC 4 game. I believe he's announcing it, I don't know, after the fight or like something like that. But go give my man a follow. I'll be doing it as well. But he is Julian Marquez is a minus 177 favorite over my man Maki Pitolo at a plus 145 underdog. The over-under here is 1.5, guys. That's right smack dab in the middle of the fight. It's almost worth it to throw some money on the over-under, but I'm not. I'm going to be putting my money on Maki Pitolo in a fight, in a parlay as well, so make sure you stay tuned for that at the end. So that being said, the stare down was a good. They just stare down, but at the stare down, I noticed something that I didn't notice at the weigh-in. At the weigh-in, I was like, oh, Maki Pitolo is definitely like the bigger guy. He's got big back. He gave a big flex. You know, did what he does. And then at the stare down, Julian Marquez is the bigger guy. He's the taller guy, and he's also a big guy too. So I didn't expect that. So that is why I wait until after I watch these to make my bets, because you never know what you're going to find. I thought Maki Pitolo was going to be the bigger guy in this fight, but it looks like Julian Marquez is actually going to have the size advantage. So it's maybe making me question my parlays just a little bit, but I am not backing down. I'm going through coconut bombs till the end, moving right along. Kelvin Gastelum versus Heinisch, guys. Oh man, this is one that kind of scared me a little bit. I'm a huge Kelvin Gastelum fan. The dude dares to be great every time. He gets so close, but has yet to taste the gold championship. And guys, on the scale, he looked like he had trouble making weight, and he just looked like he was out of shape. I don't know what got into Kelvin Gastelum this training camp, but he's going up against a game Heinisch that looked fantastic on the scales. Kelvin Gastelum, on the other hand, you know his pedigree. You know he's tried and true. This dude is a monster in the cage, and he's not going out of there easy. Heinisch, on the other hand, hasn't fought that top echelon of the fighters yet. So you don't know what you're getting there when it comes to this fight. But man, something that just stuck out to me so bad was how bad Gastelum looked on the scale. And then at the stare down, everyone knows that Kelvin Gastelum is a rather small middleweight. He's roughly the same size as Heinisch. So that being said, guys, I'm probably going to stay away from this. I'm probably not going to put any money on this. But if, gun to my head, if I had to pick, I'd be going Heinisch on this fight. Just simply because Kelvin Gastelum, for some reason, guys, he didn't look like he wants to be that title challenger contender that he once was just last year, just a couple years ago when he fought Izzy. So moving up, co-main event of the evening, Maycee Barber versus Alexa Grasso, guys. Man, I don't even know what to say here. Maycee Barber coming off the first loss of her career to Roxanne Modafferi, and honestly, guys, not a good performance. I know she did hurt herself in that fight, but even before she hurt herself, it didn't even look like it was going well for her way. Roxanne just looked like she had all the tools to beat Maycee Barber in literally the biggest upset of last year, going up against Alexa Grasso. Maycee Barber, a plus 105 underdog. Super surprising to me personally. Alexa Grasso, a minus 127 favorite. Alexa Grasso has hands, though. She will knock you out. She's quick. She's got powder. She's got power. On the other hand, Maycee Barber, as I said, she's coming off her first loss of her career. I believe she has a fire behind her. She is coming out to prove that she is not done, that she still wants to be the youngest UFC champion that there has ever been at that. So Maycee Barber, Alexa Grasso, the over/under on this is 2.5, a plus 180 for under, a minus 250 for over. I don't see this going under 2.5. But what I will be taking is Maycee Barber. I believe that she is back on track. I believe she has something to prove. She's setting out and she's going to prove to everyone that she's still at the that she's still at the top of this division and she is going for gold. Guys, this leads me to the main event of the evening. My straight bet of the night as well. Kamaru Usman versus Gilbert Burns, guys. If you have watched the podcast previously on this channel, you know me and Dorian are exact opposite sides of this. He loves Kamaru Usman. I like Gilbert Burns here. At the weigh-ins, guys, both guys looked amazing on the scales. Kamaru Usman technically missed weight at first. He was a half pound over, but after taking off his mask and his socks, he made 170. Gilbert Burns, on the other hand, made 170 on the dot to begin with, and then had trouble getting his mask on at the end to take his pictures, and then he just said, forget about it, and then took his picture with the mask down. I don't even know why they're doing, do you have to have the mask on for the pictures? I'm not sure what's happening here. Anyway, getting back to the stare downs. Man, the stare down was so intense. Kamaru Usman stepped up right to Gilbert Burns, and Gilbert Burns did not back down. Gilbert Burns leaned in closer to Kamaru Usman than what Kamaru even stepped to him. Gilbert Burns is not scared of Kamaru Usman, and that being said, at plus 220, I am taking Gilbert Burns in my straight bet of the night. You can't turn that down. I believe that Kamaru Usman left the camp that they were all training at to go get better help elsewhere because he knows that Gilbert Burns' hands are better. Why else would you go to Trevor Whitman, the best hands coach in the game, to get your hands better? That's why. I don't know if it's been enough time, though. That being said, I think Gilbert Burns gets it done here. It wouldn't surprise me if it was by knockout or submission. I believe Burns has all the tools to get it done over Usman at a plus 220 underdog. Guys, this is your chance to cash in. So let me run over my bets all together just finally. As I said just now, I'm taking Gilbert Burns in my straight bet of the night at a plus 220 underdog. You cannot turn this man down. This man is a killer, world class on the ground, world champion jiu-jitsu player, has knockout power, fantastic striking, guys. I'm telling you, there is money to be made here. That's my straight bet of the night, Gilbert Burns. And then my first parlay of the night, I'm going Maycee Barber, Andre Ewell, and Miranda Maverick. That is my first parlay of the night, guys. All three of these fights, Miranda Maverick is the favorite. Andre Ewell looked fantastic on the scales against Chris Gutierrez, who did not look good on the scales. And then Maycee Barber, as I said, guys, she's coming off the first loss of her career. I believe she has the fire behind her. I believe she's going to get it done. My second parlay of the night, Maki Pitolo, Brian Boom Kelleher, and the Rodolfo Vieira versus Anthony Hernandez fight going over 1.5. As I said, guys, Anthony Hernandez, if he doesn't win, is at least tough enough to last the 1.5 rounds. That is the underdog for this to happen. Brian Boom Kelleher against Ricky Simone. As I said earlier in the night, guys, excuse me, that's my third try. Brian Boom Kelleher has power at 145. He has power to knock anyone out at 145. And Ricky Simone has a tendency to be hit. If you just look back just a couple years, got knocked out by a 40-year-old Uriah Faber. So just remember that. Kelleher has got power, and Ricky Simone has been knocked out not that long ago. And then Maki Pitolo, as I said, guys, I try not to take too much of my heart into this, but Maki Pitolo, one of my favorite fighters. I love watching this dude fight. Power in both hands, and he will knock you out with a body shot. So don't sleep on Maki Pitolo. And that is going to be it for my second parlay. So 2 3-leg parlays so far, and 1 straight bet. As I get something to drink, give me just a second. And that's going to lead me into my third parlay, but a 4-leg parlay. I know I wasn't sold on this. I just told you guys this. But I went ahead and made the bet anyway. So first leg on the parlay is Ian Heinisch. As I said, guys, Kelvin didn't look amazing on the scale. And so that being said, I'm willing to put just a little bit on Ian Heinisch. Next, the Anthony Hernandez fight, also going under 1.5. And also, I'm going to throw Burns in this parlay too. It is my straight bet of the night, but I'm also going to throw him in this parlay. And also, Andre Ewell. I already told you guys why. His opponent on the scale. So that's it, guys. I have 3 parlays, two 3-leg parlays, 1 4-leg parlay, and a straight bet of the night. Gilbert Burns to beat Kamaru Usman. I believe he has the tools to get it done here, guys. The champ leaving the gym. How does that sound? It doesn't sound correct to me. The challenger should have left the gym, but no, he didn't. That says something to me. I believe Gilbert Burns gets it done here. And if you just want to throw a Hail Mary, Fluffy Hernandez, a plus 300 underdog, guys. If you want to triple your money, if you want to turn your $25 into $100, here's your chance. Anthony Hernandez at plus 300, guys. He's not a bad fighter. He is really a huge underdog in this fight, and I don't see why. So if I'm feeling just a little risky, I might toss a little bit on Anthony Hernandez. But that's going to be all for this time, guys. Remember, if you found this video helpful, if you enjoyed it, or if you want to see my podcast that I do once a week with my longtime friend, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And once again, put a thumbs up on this video if you enjoyed it. But that's all that I have for this time, guys. I'll catch you next time. Stay golden.